Hey everyone, welcome back to the Lewis Pike Show. Today we're going to talk about 5 ways I plan to invest my money in 2020. So stay to the end to figure out how you can possibly do the same and make yourself an extra 5 to 10K this year. So let's jump into it. Hey everyone, welcome back. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. If you haven't subscribed, click that little bell as well to make sure you get notified anytime we drop a new video. Got to do that to help with the YouTube algorithm, to help get this video out there to more people, more watchers or viewers like you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do with my money in 2020 is make sure that I stay out of debt. Basically that revolves around any type of consumer debt. So make sure I don't get any student loans. Obviously I'm not going back to school, so don't have a problem with that. Any credit card debt, any personal loans, any car debt. Make sure I stay out of debt. I don't go back into debt. If you've been following me for a while, or if you're new here, I paid off all of my debt in 2017, paid off about $80,000. So definitely want to make sure I continue with the path there. Actually, a few months ago, actually about a month ago, we actually just paid off. We sold our condo in Austin. We moved to San Francisco. So I actually don't have any house debt as well. So one of my goals is to be able to keep it that way. So make sure I don't go back into debt. So that's the first thing. That leads us into number 2. So the second thing I'm going to do with my money in 2020, I just mentioned that we sold our condo in Austin and we moved to Northern California. So a huge focus this year is going to be saving a lot to buy a house in Northern California. If you've looked at the real estate in Northern California, just to do a comparison, back when we stayed in Austin, we could probably get a pretty good house and probably the, depending on the neighborhood, probably the low 300s to 400s. We could get a pretty decent house in the Austin area. Here is going to be double that, but possibly more. So we're looking at about, to get a house in Northern California, for similar to what we could get in Austin, we're looking at spending about $1 million. So we're going to save up as much as we can and put down as big of a down payment as possible. If we can get to the point to where we can save up the full amount, that would be great. But being realistically, we want to save up as much as we can. We did get some money back from our condo in Austin, so that's definitely a big head start to get started with our goal of getting a house here in Northern California. We plan to stay here, or at least right now, immediately, we plan to stay here in the long term. So we'll see. You never know how the market changes, but that's the goal for this year, to save up as much money as we can to get that house. All right, so number 3, these are some things that you can take away in order to help increase your revenue or make some extra money this year. So the third thing is obviously invest. So there's 3 things that I'm going to do, 3 areas that I'm going to hit this year when it comes to investing. The first thing is going to be real estate investing. So I've already started saving some money over the last year and a half. For potential deals of getting my real estate investment portfolio up. So if I run across any deals, obviously I'm going to be looking out of state in order to get those deals. I did look at an option as far as keeping my condo in Austin, but just running the numbers, it just wasn't a good cash flowing property with the amount of property management and then the rent rates there. We had just recently refinanced the loan to a shorter term. It just made sense at this point to go ahead and pull out all of that equity and sell the house since we were moving. So I'm still looking for other deals where I can potentially find some good cash flowing properties, some ones that I can buy under market, so I already have equity built into it. Primarily turnkey properties. If there's a little fixing up, then great, but primarily want to find some turnkey properties that I can get to automatically bring me some cash flow in. So that's going to be key. Also, another area within real estate too is, while I'm searching for properties, I have money saved up to have a certain amount that I have saved up that I keep liquid at all times, but I also have some that are a little bit over as I continue to save. So I'm taking that and I'm working with a few investors that I know that flip properties, so they always need hard money lenders. Right now I'm able to get, between those deals, I'm able to get anywhere between 10 to 12%. Which is a good rate. I mean, think about it, because that's more than any money that I'm going to get just leaving it in a high interest savings account, a lot more than I'll be able to get from leaving it in a traditional CD or just your normal big bank savings account. So it's a guaranteed 10 to 12%, depending on the deal, depending on the amount. So I've been doing a few of those deals in order to get back some of that money. So you can make anywhere. Again, that's another way. If you find some deals like that, if you look in your area or reach out to realtors in your network, reach out to investors, that's a good way to possibly bring in a guaranteed return. And you can make anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 extra, really not doing anything. All you're doing is just transferring money over, obviously writing up the contract, getting that notarized in case anything doesn't go wrong. But definitely want to do your due diligence when doing that. But it's definitely a way, another way to invest your money to make some guaranteed income. Next phase of investing. So I'm going to continue to invest in index funds. So I started my index fund portfolio right after I got out of debt. I started a little bit before, but primarily I started hitting that as soon as I got out of debt. So right now I'm just doing that between the midst of Vanguard. Also have some money in Betterment as well, just like a robo advisor where I'm investing money there. I'm looking into possibly moving that over to something like Robinhood or moving it over to M Finance. I'll do a video later on just my 2-year journey with Betterment and just kind of the returns and stuff that I've got thus far. As far as just doing index funds, you basically just set it and let it go. Again, I started a Vanguard account this year as well. Primarily just the S&P 500. You can just do a Google search of the top 3 index funds to invest in. I kind of just followed that path. I'm a little bit more aggressive than someone who would be older since I'm younger. So it's a little bit more aggressive portfolio. Still a good mix of stocks and bonds in there as well as some international investing as well. The next thing that comes into investing is I'm going to be primarily taking the path of doing some investing into dividend funds. So I'm going to set up a portfolio where it's strictly where I just invest and buy high paying dividend funds. This basically means that if you're buying to a dividend fund, you're basically guaranteed a set return rate, no matter if the stock goes down or goes up. Obviously, I want to try to get into some high performing dividend stocks, but that's going to be the goal, or another path where I'm going to invest a percentage of my money this year. And I'll do another video later on that just goes into more details as far as my dividend portfolio investing strategy. Okay, so that brings us to the next thing. So the next step is I'm going to be investing in my business. So I started my business during the journey of paying off my debt. So I always want to, the thing with my business, I always want to put money back into it because I'm at a point now where I have to put money into my business in order to help the business grow. So a lot of the profits that are coming in from the business, I put a big percentage of that back in order to continue to grow, increase my revenue over year to year. And I'm looking to really invest a little bit more this year in order to make a big leap. Like I said, we're trying to buy a house here in Northern California. So it's definitely going to, if we want to hit that crazy goal of getting close to as possible, paying that thing off in cash, definitely have a 2 household income, but definitely want to look at some ways where I can increase my income as well in order to save for the house and continue to invest in my other investment ventures as well. So investing back into my business is going to be one of the big ways that I could get there. And that brings us to the next step as well, which kind of goes hand in hand with investing into my business. But not only am I going to invest into my business, but I'm going to continue to invest in my education. So improving my skills and improving my knowledge so I can increase my wages, charge more for my knowledge by continuing to better myself, advance my education and my career path, in my business and my skills, and just make sure that I'm up to date on currently what's going on in my market. So by doing that, I have to invest in maybe going to conferences, buying online courses from other people, online trainings to help increase my knowledge, and also investing in outside coaching. So people who are at a level where I want to be or who've been down the path that I've been at, getting their knowledge, investing in them, investing in myself to continue to improve and continue to get better. Because I just read a quote recently, small minds equal small bank accounts, which is true because I know a lot of people are hesitant. If you hear the term of people like, oh, don't invest in online trainings or investing online courses because you can find all the information online, which is probably true. But if you think about it, you could probably find the information online, but it doesn't take you a lot longer in order to find the information, piece it all together. We can just go to an expert, someone who has a plan or outline laid out for you to follow and replicate that same process or system or cater it towards you, but they've been through it. You can shortcut that learning process in order to increase your knowledge. So definitely a huge component of online training and courses in order to improve my knowledge and increase my income. And then this brings us to the last thing. So something that I'm wanting to do, not only here locally, since I'm here in Northern California, is really start to invest back into the community and the area surrounding me. So I want to take some steps to start investing back into the community. I've been doing some donations, some charities, but nothing locally. So I really want to challenge myself and make it a goal to where I'm investing locally in my communities. And also I want to take some money and invest back into my home state and into my hometown community as well. So that's a goal where I'm challenging myself this year to take some steps and start being more proactive and investing more on the ground, so I can actually see some of the rewards, whether it's time that I'm investing, whether it's money that I'm investing, but just taking the opportunity to really start to step that up and start giving back locally as well. So those are some ways that I'm going to be investing my money. Like I said, there's several things you can do. You can take from this where you can do the same thing, where you can increase your income, maybe make an extra $5,000 to $10,000 this year by doing the same thing. If you guys have any questions, please drop them in the comments. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, if you have not liked the video, go ahead and like the video. Subscribe to the channel, make sure you get notified. I'm going to be dropping content constantly, so you definitely want to make sure that you get notified. I will see you all on the next video. Have a good one.